everyone. Welcome to the Diary of a Farmer's Daughter. Okay, so on this particular channel, I take you through my experiences and challenges as a newbie in catfish farming. So join me as we explore this exciting catfish farming business together. Right, so in my previous video, I had talked about types of ponds, okay, and I did say that we have tanks, plastic tanks, and people use plastic tanks. You have the concrete pond, you have also the tarpaulin as well as earthen pond. Earthen pond is really quite is really popular as well as the tarpaulin. These are quite mobile. The tarpaulin is mobile, so a lot of people go for that one. Right, but for me, I had access to um, a concrete pond, a 7 cell concrete pond that had been dormant for, like I said, 5 years. Right, in that video, I had talked about the maintenance and treatment of the ponds, that I was going to tell you how I maintained my own pond, the concrete pond. Remember, we're looking at my experiences and then my challenges as a newbie in this business. So here we go. I hope you learned something from it. Okay, so right. So to begin with, I said I had access to a 7 pond facility. So seven, and it was quite huge. To maintain all seven at once, of course, is capital intensive, and I had a lot of money. So I had to go 1 pond at a time. So how did I maintain my pond? I took one particular, focused on one particular pond, and what I did was basically the first thing was to clear out all the muck, all the dirt from the pond. You can imagine it's been there for 5 years, so you can imagine the amount of rubbish, amount of dirt that were there. In fact, we even found a few fish inside, some of them inside the black mud. And then there was also this monitoring lizard that they got, which they call iguana. Yeah, so we got that one, we caught it, and they had to take it out of the pond facility to release it back into the river. So that was it. How they got there, I've got no idea how the fish got there, how they managed to survive all these years there. I've got no idea whether they were from leftover from the previous harvest or they dug their way from the river there. No idea. But we found them inside the pond, and there they were. Okay, so what we now did after that, after clearing out all the muck, I'm sure you see the muck in the video, very black, very dirty. We cleared out all these things from the pond. The next thing to do was to do repairs, to maintain. Of course, it's been dormant for 5 years, so of course you expect extensive repairs to be done. So we had cracks there. There were cracks, leakages, and plumbing work to be done. So we focused on this. If you look carefully at the video, you'll see some white powdery substance in the pond. So that was water seal, yes. So we mixed water seal together with cement and then used this to seal up cracks in the pond. Then we'll also did the plumbing work. When the maintenance was done, the next thing to do was to wash the pond, okay? To wash the pond and then to treat it. Now, a lot of people have different ways in which they decide to treat their ponds. Like I told you, I engaged in research and I was busy looking, studying for everything, anything that concerns catfish. And it's not just listening to it. I had a note by me that I filled and documented and wrote, and I've constantly been going back and forth in this note to check what I see as I practice and then see compared to what people had said. So it's more like theory versus practice now for me is what I'm doing. So I had the notes. I had active notes that I had actively taken while undergoing all this research, while doing this research I was doing online. So I found a lot of things written about how to maintain and how to treat your pond. One of the ones I found that was quite common with the concrete pond was cutting down plantain leaves, dried plantain leaves with the stem and all, tossing them into the pond after you've washed it. So first of all, you wash the pond. Having washed the pond, you cut the plantain leaf and the stem and everything into the water. Allow this to soak for a number of days. After that, you find some living organisms and then you remove this. So for me, this was weird. How do I wash a pond? I clean it up first, then I put these dry things and dirt inside it, and then I have living organisms that are allowed to decompose. Allow this to decompose after a few days, get rotten, and then I'm taking them out again. It didn't make sense to me. I did not understand why we clean and then put dirty things, then let them get rotten, and I take them out and then on the same pond, inside the same pond. For me, it didn't make sense. So yes, research is all about yeah, sometimes you have to adapt. So I had to adapt my own. So I had done a lot of research. So I took good from this one, a bit from this, a bit from this, and came up with my own pattern. So here's what I did in my own case, and it worked for me. So I don't know if you want to try this, that's good. So, but here's what I did. Here's my own story. What I did in my own case was to, first of all, having cleared out all the muck and everything after the repairs, and having cleared out the muck and then done the repairs, what I now did was to wash the pond thoroughly. You heard me. To wash the pond thoroughly. To wash the pond, what did I use? I used, of course, water, um, detergent, and then hypo. Hypo is bleach. So we put these three things together and we scrubbed the pond thoroughly. When I say scrub, it's scrub. I didn't use sponge. No. I didn't use sack or whatever to scrub the walls. No. I actually went with hardware brush to scrub. Remember, I said this pond had been dormant for 5 years. You can imagine the grill, the algae, and every spirogyra, all the ones that. So active scrubbing. It was scrubbing I did. So we scrubbed the walls, scrubbed the floor, scrubbed everywhere in the pond to make sure that it was clean. Remember, I said I was working with a pond at a time. So we scrubbed that particular pond, scrubbed it thoroughly, made it very clean, and then rinsed it thoroughly. After rinsing, the next thing I did was to get salt solution. So I took salt and then water, mixed the salt together, and poured this in the pond. Poured on the wall, poured on the floor, poured everywhere. Then I filled the pond up with water. Okay, I allowed this to stand overnight. I drained it out, and then filled again with water. Filled again with water. So this is how I basically treated. This is how I treat my concrete pond, how I treated it, and how I still treat the pond, new ponds. And it's worked for me. I've not had any issue. Bear in mind that this first pond I'm talking about is a pond of 7 by 60 if you go with the full length, but they've shared it into three different cells. So I had 7 by 18, 7 by 18, 7 by 18. The partition took a bit out of it for that particular one pond that I'm talking about. So I had like three cells so that people won't come and ask me, okay, you say you're starting with one pond, so you're not going to sort. Yes, I had space to sort. These were broken into three different cells. So that was okay for me until I needed to start preparing the other pond. So this is how I treated my pond. So maintenance and then treatment. So tell me what you think about this and how you intend to treat your own, perhaps how you treat your own pond. We learn every day. If it's something I can use, why not? I'll be happy to learn. But if there's a reason behind using, there's a scientific reason behind using the plantain and the decomposing and all, okay, if you can make me to understand, that also would be great. But this is how I do my own stuff. So let me know if you'll be using this, and perhaps if you've learned something new. If you have other ideas as well, I'll be happy to hear them. Please do share. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.